Hi, my name is Reginald Martin, the Agentic Teacher. I help small business owners who don't have a technical background use AI in real business work without jargon and overload. I show them how to think with AI, judge the output, and turn it into something they can actually use. Let's get started. I have coached clients on how to use AI for years, and there was one complaint about ChatGPT that I completely understood. You had to explain the same things over and over. Your business, your tone, your audience, your preferred format, what you were building, who you were serving, how you wanted the output structured. It could answer questions about almost anything in the world, but sometimes it felt like it had the memory of a goldfish. Then something changed. Recently, I asked ChatGPT to create a YouTube video script. Right after I hit send, I realized I had forgotten to tell it the exact format I wanted. I didn't tell it to include visual suggestions. I didn't tell it to include on-screen text. I didn't remind it to use timestamps, voiceover sections, and scene directions. Normally, that would have meant a generic script and another round of corrections. But this time, ChatGPT gave me the script in the format I had been using. That caught my attention, because it was not just a better answer, it was a different kind of behavior. When I checked the personalization settings, I saw the pieces that explained it: saved memories and reference chat history. Saved memories are details ChatGPT has been told to remember. Reference chat history allows ChatGPT to use relevant patterns from previous conversations when responding. That doesn't mean it remembers everything perfectly. And it doesn't mean you should treat it like magic, but it does mean something important. ChatGPT can begin carrying useful context across conversations. It makes it much more powerful for creators, consultants, teachers, coaches, and small business owners who use AI across many kinds of work. Most people think about memory as personalization. Remember my name. Remember my tone. Remember that I like short answers. That is useful. But for serious work, that's only the surface. The better question is, what does ChatGPT need to understand about my work so it can help me be better across conversations? Because your work has context. Your audience matters. Your standards matter. Your repeated formats matter. Your business constraints matter. Your strategic direction matters. When ChatGPT doesn't know those things, every chat starts low. That's the hidden cost I call the context tax. The context tax is the mental effort you spend rebuilding the background before AI can help you well. You keep rebuilding the same background: audience, business context, style, format, standards, and constraints again and again. Memory doesn't remove the need for clear prompting. You'll still need to ask clearly, but a memory layer gives your prompts a better starting point. Instead of every conversation beginning from zero, ChatGPT can begin with more of the context that already matters. That's the shift. Step 1. Turn on the right settings. The first step is making sure memory is actually available. In ChatGPT, go to Settings, then Personalization. Then look for memory-related settings such as reference saved memories and reference chat history. These settings can usually be toggled on or off, so you're not forced to use memory if you don't want to. And you can manage or delete memories from the same area. So before you try to build a memory layer, make sure those memory settings are actually turned on. That matters, because memory should be useful, but it should also be governed. You don't want a junk drawer. You want a working context layer. Step 2. Decide what is worth remembering. This is the part most people skip. Don't just let ChatGPT remember random details. Decide what kind of context would actually improve your work. For a creator or business owner, that might include your audience, your business positioning, your offers, your tone and style, your repeated formats, your standards, your constraints, your frameworks. That's where memory becomes more than personalization. It becomes a working context layer. The goal is not to remember trivia. The goal is to preserve the context that makes the future work better. These are the kind of details that help ChatGPT stop giving generic help. Step 3. Save durable context deliberately. When something matters long term, don't just hope ChatGPT catches it. Tell it directly. Use a phrase like, remember this as durable context. Then state clearly what you want saved. When ChatGPT confirms it saved the memory, you know the piece of context has been added. For example, remember this durable context when helping me create the YouTube scripts. Use a structured educational format with title, promise, target link, timestamp, sections, visual suggestions, on-screen text, and voiceover. Or, remember this as durable context. When helping me review AI-generated business emails, check for clarity, relevance, tone, missing context, and whether the message is ready to send. The point is to make the memory specific enough to be useful later. Remember my style is too vague. A better memory tells ChatGPT which context should carry across chats so you don't have to keep repeating the same background. Step 4. Curate memory from existing materials. This is how I use AI as a thought partner. I had PDFs, saved chat excerpts, framework notes, business positioning, custom GPT instructions, content structures, and other materials from other parts of my work. But I was not uploading PDFs so ChatGPT could store them in memory. That's not the most useful way to think about this. The real process was curation. I used those materials as source inputs. Then I asked ChatGPT to summarize them with a specific purpose. Help me identify the important and durable knowledge from this material that will be useful to save into memory for future conversations. That changed the job. ChatGPT was not just summarizing for convenience, it was helping me decide what context should carry forward. A simple way to describe the process is collect, summarize, extract, decide, save, test. The source is not the memory. The extracting knowledge is the memory. Step 5. Separate memory, projects, and files. This distinction matters. Everything doesn't belong in memory. A simple way to think about it is this. Memory gives ChatGPT orientation. Projects give ChatGPT a focused workspace. Files give ChatGPT source material. Memory is for durable context that should carry across chats. Projects are for active work streams with a specific purpose. Files, PDFs, and saved docs are exact source material ChatGPT may need to read or use. This distinction keeps the system clean. The goal is not to cram your whole business into memory. The goal is to give ChatGPT enough durable context to understand the way you work, while keeping exact materials in places where they can be referenced clearly. Now here's the small print before we pretend memory is magic. Memory doesn't mean ChatGPT is always right. It doesn't replace judgment. It doesn't mean you should trust every output. And it doesn't mean every detail from every conversation will show up exactly when you need it. The goal is not to make ChatGPT remember everything. The goal is to make it remember the right things. The things that improve your work across conversations, your audience, your standards, your recurring formats, your business direction, your constraints, and your way of working. That's the difference between using AI as a blank page tool and using it as a context-aware working environment. If you want to begin building your own memory layer, start with this prompt. I want to create a useful memory layer for my work. Ask me questions about my audience, business, offers, tone, recurring tasks, standards, constraints, and the kinds of outputs I create often. Then help me decide what should be saved to memory, what should go into a project, and what should live in a document or file. That one prompt can begin the process. But notice what this prompt is doing. It's not asking ChatGPT to generate another piece of content. It's asking ChatGPT to help you think through what context matters. That's the shift. AI as a thought partner, not just as a prompt generator. Because the real work is not the prompt. The real work is deciding what context should carry forward. And the next level of using ChatGPT is not just asking better questions, it's building a better working environment. If you want to use AI for real business work without starting from scratch every time, subscribe. I do videos about practical AI systems that help creators, consultants, and small business owners build better working environments with AI without jargon, hype, or tool chasing. That's the end of this video. Thank you for watching.